Real quick, so where would you rank it?
Oh yeah,
in terms of the other
Marvel movies. I can't give it an exact number. Top 5, definitely not number 1.
Cool. What would you
Because you're number one in store, right?
The first Avengers is my number 1. To me, at least.
Oh, for real?
Oh,
The first Avengers.
Damn, bro. I don't know if it's
number
on
one.
top of Luke Cage, man.
come on, bro. Hey, we closed his laptop. He done. You no longer AGG. You're Gerald.
Hey, bro. Iron Fist was good, man. What? Iron Fist was good.
That's his new real name, Gerald.
Yeah.
Hey, it was almost
His real name's
about to be
Clarence.
Iron Fist.
Clarence, bro. You a Clarence, bro.
Hey, man, I'm just out here on my coon and shit, you know.
Funny, so you know a nigga named Clarence.
I feel like everybody know at least one Clarence.
She got everything, but she bang with us. Hook her on the team, bang. She a little button for the cameras. We got everything that you need.
Into this Black Panther movie review. Oh, yeah.
Lit.
Really? I say it was good. Let's start with the good stuff. I got my things to say from the African perspective.
I would say for one, the music, the whole time. I fucked with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say keep it on a positive note. I at least enjoyed
now.
That's why I just said
for now. I at least enjoyed the fact that the cast was like a pretty powerhouse cast of African Americans, and like it's not to throw shade. Like a lot of my favorite movies involve white people. I don't really care about that. It's just to be able to see that is interesting. Right? Yeah, that was neat.
I would say I was a fan of. I've heard stuff to the contrary, but I was a fan of them killing off Claw and focusing on Killmonger. Because I definitely thought it was going to be like a combo between the two of them till the end. So I was actually really happy to see.
Yeah, I'm glad
that
they made him the
like,
main guy instead of like having Claw still in the background,
Like a sidekick or some shit.
yeah.
And I really enjoyed the first scene where Michael B. Jordan was introduced. I just liked his swag there when he was like at the museum trying to get the mask or whatever. Like I like the swag of that scene. I wish we got more of those, but we only got.
I mean, honestly, I feel like every scene with him was pretty badass. Except for the end one.
No, I mean, he still went out like as best as he could. I think, given the circumstances.
I'm saying after he got stabbed up, but
Like they filmed me
After he got
Ocean.
stabbed up?
Like when I said
What happened?
that shit was dope. What?
I thought that was probably one of the goofier lines.
No, I thought that was funny.
Apparently, that was the line that was probably the most impactful.
So
to
hear
most.
me out.
Oh, wait, we still on good stuff.
Oh, we on good stuff.
So we gotta save
Almost
it.
went in on these
We
niggas.
gotta save it.
Good
We
stuff.
gotta save
I
it.
do like how technologically advanced what kind of was, even though it's not very realistic economics, but it was cool. What else?
I like the
Super
spy
dope.
part. I like the fact that they got spies in all these different countries. Oh, duh, M'Baku, bro. That was the littest part of probably like the whole movie for me. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like
What was that
his
again?
guy from the
Barker
tribe.
nigga?
Best
Monkey homie?
accent.
what?
Monkey homie who was
Yeah.
barking at niggas.
Oh yeah.
Best accent by far. Blew everybody out the water. So I'll put
Accent,
two for the
what
dozen. African accent? I mean, it was like a Nigerian background, but he had the best sounding accent to me.
But I'm saying like that's why I'm like, it's Wakanda. It's not a real country, so there's no accent, so they can do whatever they want almost.
No, I mean they borrowed like African, but I'm just saying like
definitely
from his acting talent of doing an accent. Like Chadwick Boseman explained what accent he was borrowing from. I've never heard it before, but he said like he borrowed from some South African accent, or whatever. So I'm just saying of each person who had an accent and did it, his was the most authentic sounding.
But you
Like, I didn't hear any offense in the words.
The African accent he's talking about. So
I haven't, but it still sounded like weird. Like there's just certain words you just like no, okay, like you said that like an American would say or whatever, or you said that like whatever. So to me, I mean, I'm not even serious to act like I'm not like whatever expert of accents, but I'm just saying it sounded the best.
You should bring. I was going around on that.
Oh, she has stuff to say. They try to claim him. Most Nigerians she tried to claim him too.
Oh, claiming on the big swole.
Yeah, as soon as he started speaking his accent, she was like, "Oh, he's got to be Nigerian. He's got to be Nigerian." That nigga from the islands. So she was like, "Oh, well, we claiming him anyway."
Damn.
I didn't think he was like African, but I thought his accent was good. Forrest Whitaker, y'all ain't fuck with his accent? Maybe that's because he was
I
on
don't
some
remember.
Forrest Whitaker
Oh,
type
that's in
shit.
the negative section. I'll leave that alone.
Oh, what?
Forrest
Forrest
Whitaker.
Whitaker stuff.
You know, nigga with the lazy eye.
There's two niggas with lazy eye. You got one with glass eye.
Glass eye?
Yes, niggas.
Oh yeah, his dad. Yeah, his dad. You didn't see it? Yeah, I noticed it too. I was so weird.
He did.
I was hoping that I didn't notice it. Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
I was hoping I didn't notice it, but then I picked up on it. I was like, oh, this is fucking making this whole scene uncomfortable, bro.
Yep.
Because he was like, no offense to Chaco, but you know, we saw it.
Bringing it back on the good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I thought the scenes back in Oakland were awesome, effectively. And basically, all the scenes were every Killmonger backstory scene. Like, they did at least
you saw like him doing it in his house?
What?
Like the difference of like he was on the street and then he was in his house.
Yeah, like those scenes, I thought they were awesome. They were short, yeah, but they were awesome. Pretty much almost all the Killmonger scenes I think were pretty good. I don't think they were good necessarily because of Michael B. Jordan, but because of like the directors and writers. I think they wrote his character pretty well.
Premise was good too. I mean, I like the story and the battle that they try to have. Because as soon as, I picked up on it in the beginning, like, obviously. Like, as soon as they left this nigga, I was like, oh, well, first of all, that's Michael B. Jordan. And second of all, now this movie's going to be, like, a debate between, like, the nigga that got left and the niggas that, like, didn't get left. So,
why did they leave that nigga body? That was the dumbest shit.
I don't know why they left him.
I think they said it in the movie. I think they gave an explanation. I don't know.
No, his dad was pretty much just like,
That's
I didn't want to, like, carry that sin. Like, I don't. His dad more or less didn't want to deal with the fact that he did that to his brother, and looking at his son would remind him of that every day. So he was just like, "I'm just leave that nigga."
Yep, selfish reasons, basically. Are you guys familiar with the comic? The original comic?
No, I don't.
Not that much.
I know Black Panther.
I looked some stuff afterwards.
And like the combined stuff. I don't know.
So you're already familiar with it? Mm-hmm. So how much would you say that it
mirrored?
Yeah.
It's very similar. Like that nigga Black Panther kind of perfect. And like that's kind of, he's almost like some Superman shit with his perfection. It's like you can't find no flaws in him in like the comic book. He ain't like no alcoholic. The nigga like a genius. He know like every martial art. He the richest nigga on the planet. Like there ain't no flaws. He's a benevolent king. He ain't never made no sketch ass calls. Like he's just a perfect ass nigga. And I think they kind of mirror that in the thing. Like this nigga T'Challa never made no fuck up calls. Even at the end, he was like, "Oh, let's do this the right way." Like everything's benevolent, and everybody always like, "Yeah, bro, we fuck with your choices." Like all the time. And that's kind of like the comic bookness of it. It's like this nigga never really have any issues. The thing that was different, however, is Wakanda in the comic books does sell their vibranium, which is why they so rich, which is why like economically
money.
Yeah, this Wakanda don't make no sense. Like, no, we don't sell shit.
I mean, vibranium produces money,
Yeah, it just produces money.
They shake it and then, what is this?
Textiles, crops. Like they just yeah, bro, we make food out of vibranium, bro. Like they just get money somehow.
One thing is gonna come up in both sections, but I liked the fact that they had these different tribes or whatever. I wish that we got more respect on their name. I think it kind of came at the end, like with the rhinos and the barrier guys. I was like, oh, okay, I can see why this would put them in like a good power standpoint. Like them having the rhinos, like let's say all of the I don't know if this is actually true or not, but like let's say all of the Panther tribe, like their quirk is super strength. Like, and then those guys is like, we got the rhinos and we got these little barrier things. Like,
Panther tribe.
Like T'Challa, like that tribe, them niggas that are born of that blood. Mm-hmm. I'm just considering them the Panther tribe.
Niggas ain't got super strength.
So it's just the head nigga. It's just the head nigga. So, just the head nigga has the power. So it actually makes his tribe probably like the weakest outside of that one strong nigga that they got.
He's a tribe, right?
That is his tribe.
Yeah. He was, because it was 5 tribes fighting against each other, but then one of the niggas just
happens to be that the Panther tribe is the one that always wins the king. At least on the basis of that story.
So where's the rest of the tribe?
They're all there. So
it looked like it was only him, his sister, and his
well, those are like the head niggas, but any niggas that I guess like live around them.
In this case, like Killmonger is blood as well. Like it just happened that he killed his brother.
Still the royal family. Besides the royal family. Like, where's the rest of the tribe?
I'm sure there's cousins and niggas out there.
You can assume like while they were like walking around in the neighborhood and shit like that and chilling or whatever, they were within that tribe.
Everybody in Wakanda wasn't there. It was like these one niggas from their
These are the special niggas from each tribe.
Right. It was
the fight at the end. So the Panther tribe, nobody who fights?
Nobody was there though.
He's the representative. What do you mean?
All of Wakanda wasn't at that fight, bro. It was like a couple niggas.
Right.
They just start scrapping.
So basically, you have all of Wakanda. It has its 5 different tribes within it. You take all the niggas that have hands within each of the tribes, and they are the army. So all the niggas that were fighting at the very end, they're not specifically from one specific tribe. They're the niggas that got hands from all of the tribes.
No, all the niggas was fighting from the Rhino tribe.
Those are all from the Rhino tribe.
100% sure?
Yeah, Get Out. That's what I'm saying.
They was wearing the same clothes.
So
Because wouldn't that be your fucking attire when you're part of the army?
But they
that's his tribe.
His tribe is the army though. Like the border patrol is a tribe of niggas. Like that's the way I took it. Not that like anybody can join the border patrol. It's like if you're born into the border patrol tribe, you're border patrol.
But I guess you can call
different.
What they call?
Dora Milaje.
Yeah. The Panther army, I guess. Mm-hmm. Sure. Can anyone join them? Almost? They can.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So I guess I can call it.
I mean, but if that was the case, couldn't you just have, whenever they're doing the trial to see who's going to be the next king, couldn't they just all come in and just jump them niggas and be like, yeah, this our shit now?
No, well, because it's tradition.
I think it's 1 versus 1 either way. Like they would just be like, oh, you want to fight? All right, cool. So we got 1 from that tribe. You want to fight? All right, we got 1 from that tribe. And each one will have their one-on-one.
No, what I'm saying is they could just start like a coup.
Yeah.
Because you're making it seem like all of the rest of the tribes don't have any fighters or whatever. So you can just have one group just overpower everybody else.
What do you mean?
Like just because you are necessarily tasked with border control don't mean you got all the hitters. It's like, for example, in Konoha is built with a bunch of different tribes. The Uchiha are the military police. Can't nobody else join the military police, but that don't mean other niggas don't know how to bang. Like niggas can still fight them niggas. They just happen to be like, oh, this is your ceremonial job. You do this. The Nara, they ceremonially watch the forest. Like, oh, y'all niggas do that. But like other niggas can probably fight. I don't know the full layout of anything, but I just thought about like, oh, Konoha, bunch of different tribes, but these niggas run the shit most of the time.
My only thing though is that when they were like the mom and the sister and all, they were like running for their life almost, right?
Yeah.
If they had like fighters, wouldn't it be a perfect time for them to intervene? Not even just to like fight the other group, but to at least help them get wherever they need to go or do something.
To me, what I would understand this is it's 2 things. First of all, the only niggas that knew when they left were like whatever the head niggas in that group, right? Like the reason why they like took them away was like because Killmonger was probably gonna kill them. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, and that's the part I liked about the movie. And M'Baku said it was like, oh, why are y'all here? He was like, oh, Black Panther lost. He was like, so he lost. Like that's what it was supposed to happen. Like that was tradition. He fought the nigga, he lost. Mm-hmm. Like there shouldn't have been a coup. You guys just liked him, but at the end of the day, the rules are you fight each other and you fucking lose.
Yeah, but I'm saying if these were the fighters in his prime though, I feel like it would be.
I mean, if he had some, then yeah, they should have showed up. But them niggas didn't show up. Like the only one is that the generals, whatever. Her group is not. They're tied to whoever the royalty is. Like they're not tied to the Panther tribe. They're just the protectors of whoever leads.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think the Panther tribe has an army.
But you're just assuming
they might have niggas out there, but we just didn't see them. Like how would they have known? Because none of them were present at that thing. Like as soon as the Killmonger took over, it was just like they probably woke up the next day like, what the fuck happened? And them niggas was already gone. So like, what were they?
And then also, even if you are a part of the Panther tribe, if like, oh, this nigga won legitimate combat, he the king now. What do we do? Throw a coup? Like, do we start something?
Well, I guess he's also Panther tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I mean,
he's a nigga that's born somewhere else, but still blood.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if you ever seen Game of Thrones, it's like kind of parallel in that, like. Hey, shit, after my boy Robert bust that Targaryen head,
spoiler alert.
Oh, that's in the background. Yeah. That's like background story, so hey, a spoiler.
Okay.
So if you ever watch it, it's a background story.
But yeah, no, like I said, I wish they put some more respect on their names, but I really enjoyed the diversity of the different tribes. I was just hoping that a couple more, like, I would have liked like the Mountain tribe to, since the way they kind of hyped them up in the beginning, I was expecting them to be more than what they were. I think they're more in the comics, but I was hoping like they have like some equivalent power. Like M'Baku was there, like yeah, technically on his level, but I was hoping like if them niggas was like, all right, I'm gone, that they would have had some type of like specialty.
What do you mean equivalent power? Like nobody else has power.
Nobody has that power.
The border patrol got them little shields.
No, that's just vibranium technology. Right. Anybody can buy that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess anybody can, but like that's probably like the specific gun that they only let dumb niggas of that tribe.
I don't
right?
think so.
Oh, okay.
All them niggas, they clothes are like laced with vibranium. Them niggas could probably take bullet shots and just be like,
oh, well, to me, I'm just thinking like, okay, we'll get into
They
that.
could. That's why
like,
she was. That's why she was like guns.
It's so like more of a negative thing. I'll get into it like in the negative section because it builds off another.
Shit, we might as well move to that.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the whole kind of just the theme, almost like the black people don't have an identity, almost.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
That's where I'm gonna go to the negatives with that.
No, I like it. That's just me.
I mean, I thought it was an interesting premise. The execution is where I had the negative part on it. Like, I think it was a good premise. I think they did a lot of the stuff well. There's just specific points I was like, okay, bro, stop.
Alright, negatives.
You good?
Yeah.
Let me just make sure. Oh, I mean, a lot of the action scenes with Claw or whatever were really good too. Like in the very beginning, like that scene where they're leaving like the little Korean area and doing shit. I like that scene. I
think the action scenes in general were good. Besides, like the fight between. I think the fight between Killmonger and Black Panther was trash. But other than that, I think it was
I will say that, like, overall, the movie I did enjoy. Like, I'm gonna say negative things because I'm just a negative person overall. But I did really enjoy the movie. So don't be like salty when I get.
We're prefacing all of this with the movie was good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody disagrees that the movie was good, right? I don't see anybody saying that. It's just that it could have been better or they did some shit wrong. So, all right, into negatives. First thing I'm gonna go on is this fucking fruit thing. Like, I find it very, 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 very hard to believe that Wakanda's been around for that many years and only like the niggas from the Panther tribe drink that thing. Like, or wanted to take it, or nobody was like, seriously?
Yeah, that's their comic book thing.
Seriously?
You drink the heart-shaped herb, you become a super soldier. And bro, if you want the heart-shaped herb for yourself, run them ones with this nigga. If you lose, go on.
That's wild. That's wild to me. Like, if I was a Mountain Tribe niggas, that's what I was hoping, like, when they went over to the Mountain Tribe, them niggas would be like, yeah, we've been planting this shit low-key. Because I was just like, don't see how they could have restricted to that. And, like, no offense to Africans, but knowing what I know about African culture history, no nigga has power that long without some shit popping off.
Yeah, and that's
what I'm saying. Like, you don't know if they were trying to get in fights, but I'm saying to take the power, you got to beat them in a fight. I don't know, nobody could have beaten the Black Panther or the leader.
Oh, that was the tradition. Is that only the nigga that decides to be king gets the super?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like they.
I just thought the Panther tribe was the niggas that just ordered that shit, and they were just like, fuck it, just
so like if Shuri would have actually challenged them when she was like, I do, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If she'd have whooped that nigga ass, she would have been a Black Panther.
But why he had it by default though?
Why he had it? I honestly, we talked about that. No, I don't think he had it by it wasn't genes. I think he literally. One thing happened is his dad was getting old and was probably like, hey bro, I don't feel like protecting Wakanda because that's your job. When you drink that, like, you're not just chilling like, oh, I'm swole. Yeah. Like, you protect all of Wakanda.
Right.
And so, like, I figured his dad was like, hey, I'm old. You be my protector. You gonna be my king after anyway. So he probably already ate that on some non-ritual type shit. Mm-hmm. And then once he came back, like, oh, I'm the king. Now I gotta get rid of it because they made that nigga drink it to get rid of the powers. And like, all right, now we got a ritual challenge.
Because he wasn't the king until then, which is why he had to do the whole ritual. They had to challenge him.
Oh, okay, well, my guess is only that he did that in between those movies. Like, just like was when that nigga died, like when his dad died, he like did some shit he wasn't supposed to do and got the powers. Because I don't understand why they would just give it to. I feel like that would be a huge issue for his dad to just be like, yeah, we just gonna get this shit to you.
Like you said, you still need to protect it. At the end of the day, that nigga old as fuck. Yeah, he not running around. Like,
it's a pretty bold statement. I feel like if they wanted to make it a protector, there would have to be some other traditional thing. But I mean, I don't know fucking what kind of
from what I've seen from them, honestly, the king does have all power. Like, you can't, ain't no question, ain't no like parliament. Like, this nigga say jump, nigga say how high, really. And that's the flaw. In the real world, it don't work that way, right? In the real world, it don't work that way. You got some nigga with ultimate power, it always collapse. But in this world, these niggas are always benevolent, right? And that's the comic book nature of it. So he probably was just like, hey bro, you the protector now, and we'll deal with it when we deal with it.
So kind of your issue is kind of with the comic, like the base material almost.
I guess, that's fine.
And so, like, because he definitely had the sauce when that nigga was running up on Cap.
But Manip actually has, like, super strength, like, equivalent. Like, he has so Manape is M'Baku or whatever.
Yeah.
He killed like a gorilla or whatever and got like pretty much straight on par with Black Panther. So that's why I was like kind of disappointed that we didn't like carry it over to the other tribes. Like I'm just like, we low-key could have just said that about the other tribes, and then we wouldn't even have to do the like drinking shit. We could just say pretty much everybody like that's
the top
ahead, got like equivalent strength.
And then you want to be at the top, you just got to be good.
Yeah, you just got to be good. You just got to be.
But then it would have been like, how does Killmonger come into this? Because he'd have been a normal nigga trying to fight with a super soldier.
Yeah, no.
So I guess for the story aspect, it makes sense.
If it's only M'Baku or whatever, because he beat the gorilla, you said.
Yeah.
If when he dies, I mean, their leaders are gonna have powers. Super strong.
No, but then they could probably do some sort of similar tradition or whatever. Like maybe get some shit from his blood to pass that on. Like there's probably a way you can write. I mean, it's comics, so you can write whatever the fuck you want. I'm sure there's a way to pass that power along, just like he got.
I mean, you really just don't like one person having powers.
It's not just about the one person having powers. It's just like when you build a world, I like to feel like everyone has a chance. That's just kind of it. Like
that's why they take his powers away. Like
I know they take his powers away so like he can like do the fight or whatever, right? But I'm just saying like from a cultural standpoint, it doesn't really feel like anyone really has a chance to win the thing besides the Panther tribe.
And that's the way it's set up to be, like, because he's a king, right? So it's like if every year, and let's say if this was Britain, and they was like, yeah, hey, when there's a new king, y'all get to challenge the person. Mm-hmm. Well, this nigga the king, he has access to the finest weapons, the finest training.
He already got that advantage, right?
Yeah, he already got that advantage. Like, you're not supposed to win because you're supposed to keep the same lineage.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of petty to me, I guess. Like, there's no point in having to think like
better. You have to be significantly better. Yeah. And even then,
like way better.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy.
Look, it's just a personal thing for like the lore. Like I would prefer a story to go. I guess if I had wrote this as like I would have preferred to see like if I looked through like the lineage of Black Panther, not to see like Panther to be like Panther. Oh, there's a barrier tribe nigga that was the head. Like similar to like him and Reborn. Like how the different mafiosos are like different styles of people. I'd like to see like the heads be from like different tribes so that people feel like they have something to look on, to draw, and then you can even look back at those time periods and see how the world was structured. Like, what was it like when the merchant tribe had the crown? What did they do? You feel me? Like, what did they instill to put that respect on it? Like, you feel me? So
I think the fight is even at the end of the day because they take his powers away. So it's really just who's the better fighter at that point.
Yeah.
Right? So which
we proved was Killmonger. At that point.
Yeah, exactly.
We proved that niggas had a chance to win.
Yeah, and I'm saying, so the other tribes, they didn't even offer to fight. So I think that most likely happens more often than not. Yeah. Where they don't do anything.
They 100%.
So I think it's still even. It's just that the other tribes, want to do it.
I mean, as far as we know that
maybe now don't try.
I think kind of sucks.
As far as we know, the head lady probably could have beat his ass in the
I think that's mainly ceremony.
Yeah, you talking about General?
The General.
Kuye or Okai?
Yeah, as far as we know, she could have beat his ass with these. Well, I'm not.
I mean, she can't challenge because technically I don't think she's a tribe. She's just a royal guard.
You have to have royal blood, they said. But I really think it is very much ceremonial because, like, when somebody did, like, raise up, niggas was like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, shit, this happened. Like, you really
exactly. I mean, it doesn't happen.
It's kind of like when at a marriage, somebody like, hey, does anybody want to, like, say nod to this? Like, sure, we say that, but if do you really expect somebody to jump up at your wedding like, no, hey, bro,
I really feel you. Like in this case, like T'Challa or whatever was the best leader, so I understand why he ended up winning. I'm just talking about from the Wakanda verse or whatever. I just think it'd be cooler to me if the tribers had more of a voice. Like if they were just like you were introducing all these differences in them, and I just feel like if they're are just that, like it's kind of like it's just a waste of my time.
Even I don't care. The gorilla tribe, they said they haven't been down in a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, they haven't been trying to fight either. So like at the end of the day,
because they didn't give a fuck though. But like in the very beginning, they were just like, we just gonna do our own shit in the winter, like. Yeah. Which I like, they had a big enough land, but these other people do actually like have stake in the world. It's like when you go to the mountains, it's like that's not our territory. Like that is lawless land. Like him coming down was just him saying like, oh okay, like. We pretty much just want to run all y'all now. Like before, he has his own thing. Nobody else has that. M'Baku's pretty much a king of his own area. Mm-hmm. No one else, no other tribe has that type of power, so to speak. They're all under it.
I mean, that's my issue. My whole negative with like the whole the way they took the economics of it, right? Just the same issues you have are the same issues I have. Is that the comic book Wakanda is less comic booky than this Wakanda because like you couldn't survive that way. Like real people always want more. You could anytime there's ever been a person with absolute power, their empire always falls, right? You can't do that. Yeah. And then it's just like, how did these niggas generate money? If they absolutely don't sell vibranium, which comic book Wakanda does sell that shit, like if you don't sell it, how do you make money? Does vibranium produce fruit? Nigga? Do that shit, like how did they make money? Like did vibranium make everything for
Maybe
you?
they grow their own food.
Okay, but then it's like land. So let's say if you growing your own food, nobody dying because you got this high ass thing. Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where it's like, damn, we gotta feed more niggas than we can produce because we got this small bit of land. Which is where normal countries like, hey, bro, give me that land. Hey,
at this point, they probably don't even need land. If they're so advanced, they can grow shit like in labs and like food in labs and stuff. We do that now.
But I'm saying, like, how did they get there? Like the way we get there is by sharing knowledge. Like most of the knowledge we have, for example, the fact that this screen is showing right now, you need blue LED lights, which we got from Japan. Like we didn't think of that. Another nigga thought.
They probably borrowed some of that knowledge from their spies. I'm guessing, but I
but they still have to be advanced enough to send out the spies to collect shit.
No,
I mean they did that.
And they were way more advanced from like back in the day. I can understand like them developing faster. Like they were where we are maybe what 500 years ago. But I mean, I still don't get how they got to that point though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then also,
that means Wakanda pretty much every resource
they need. Me, that's not even like that's a comic thing. I think my issue, like, it's not with the movie. I don't like issues with the movie regarding that. My issue with the comic, where like I'm like, how do you get to that point in general?
Like my thing is like we just look at real life. Any country that's like, yeah, we got this one thing that's like that puts us up. They always are shit tier. Like Saudi Arabia, like them niggas got more oil than anybody else. We got this one resource that put us up, and then they low key shit tier because then it's ruled by one nigga that ruled that one resource. And then people usually get nothing. But then that's the comic book part. All these kings are always benevolent as fuck. Like they don't make bad choices, which is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, but that's my big issue I have with the economics of the world, which leads into effectively your issue of it. Why does nobody ever challenge this nigga? Because everybody always happy. How does one nigga always make every tribe happy?
Which is why Get Out nigga again traitorship.
That's not really a movie critique. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about a movie, I don't think that's a movie.
So it's very much a choice they made in that movie for that world, because that's not how it is in the comic books. Like, so the director was like, "I want the world to be like this."
They don't challenge them in the comic, right?
But in the comic book, they got real world like economics. Like they actually sell vibranium. But then they do got that bullshit where like this nigga always making everybody happy. Like this nigga Obama like times 20.
Yeah. You know did they say they don't sell vibranium in the movie?
Yeah, it was like, no, we don't give that shit to nobody. They were like, we try to where that shit at, and if any of it get out,
they go and collect it. That was the whole point.
They keep it a secret from everybody.
That's why they got the hammer back, because they didn't even know it was vibranium. They found out.
No, they didn't know. They were tracking it. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did stuff get out?
Once that shit got stolen.
If they always know where everything is.
Yeah,
Claw didn't see that shit.
Oh, I mean, like the hammer. I mean, yeah, some nigga like back before Wakanda developed the system where they were like, you can't leave this shit. Some nigga probably was like, oh,
how
that's
can
vibranium.
become vibranium?
Claw stole that shit. Isn't that
World War I?
I definitely thought.
That hammer was from long ago.
No, the hammer, right? But I thought the
whole was World War I. That shit was in the first in the Captain America movie, which was in the 40s. So I'm saying how
they probably got that shit off the low or some shit. I don't know, but that.
I mean, there's always gonna be ways to get it out, but
which is why there's a black market.
Their point was we don't really let it go.
Which is like absurd, because how do you generate money? Like, how is this the richest continent if y'all don't actually trade?
I mean, they think there's ways for them to get money.
That's true.
Other than selling vibranium. I still think they didn't say how to get this much.
That's the only resource.
I would say they probably played on the fact that people knew Wakanda existed. They just said that they was poor. So I mean, tax magic. That's the way I'm just gonna wrap it up to that. Like, it still was like people knew Wakanda existed. They just didn't know that part of Wakanda existed, Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. So they probably could still like do trade and do all that other stuff, because once they established the fact that this country exists, but y'all just don't know how much of it exists, they probably still could have finessed.
Like you said,
shit.
Saudi Arabia with the most oil, they have more oil than the US, but the US still has more money. You don't need that physical asset you don't have to sell the the resource you have. There's other ways you can make money. Is what I mean.
You saying that Saudi Arabia doesn't mainly come up in life by selling oil?
No, I'm saying they have more oil than the U.S., but the U.S. still has more money.
But that's because the U.S. doesn't. The U.S. is an example of a country that has one resource. Right? When you have one resource, all the countries that only have one resource, like vibranium, that's usually how you end up with a shit country. The U.S. we got tech, oil, crops, all types of shit we sell. Them niggas don't sell crops.
How do we know? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm assuming Wakanda is small. It's a small country. And at some point, space is a thing. America, the third largest country, we got a lot of space to do crops.
I agree that it's a whole, but I mean, you can reach to like come to some sort.
Yeah, it's still a fucking comic book movie, so it don't matter. But
another part I would add is that it was weird that Get Out and General Denai were married, but they didn't explore that besides like 2 parts.
They were married? I thought they just like
no, that's not married.
They were married.
Yeah,
like she said it in the beginning, she said, "Oh, what's up, my love?" And then at the end, the reason why he stopped fighting is like, "Oh."
He said my love.
You can love somebody.
They were together. Like I feel like he mentioned husband or wife. Like, my assumption is they were married and they called it out. If I'm wrong, then I mean show me where I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure No, I'm pretty sure they said they were married. Like, they couldn't have been that old and
just not in a relationship. I don't know if they were married.
They wasn't just fucking.
He was definitely just
fucking. They could have been in a relationship.
Y'all tripping, dude.
I'm pretty sure them motherfuckers is married. But either way,
he was like, "Damn, her booty thick."
Either way, I just think like they could have explored that a little bit more. I felt like, what was the point of bringing it up if all you did was you need to end that fight at the end?
That if they didn't bring it up in the beginning, when the rhino stopped, and
it would have made no sense.
No, it would have been exactly the same sense. Oh, I'm killing my people. Why the fuck am I doing this?
He didn't stop the rhino. The rhino stopped itself.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh yeah, this basically I fuck with her.
Yeah. And then he got off and was like, oh, okay, well, that's my woman. And then he stopped. But still,
you kill me for so I'll kill you for a car. Even though I love you, that's what killing you.
Damn, that ass is just too fat.
He would have killed her too. On that rhino.
But he didn't, because he wasn't fighting for Wakanda.
He wasn't stopping that
motherfucker. This Civil War ended because that nigga was like, damn, if I kill her, I'm gonna be in the desert. Civil War. He chose his ass.
Hey man, nigga start wars over ass.
I know she got hands. I know she could beat his ass more than he can. But either way, I just thought that part was kind of like, why? Yeah. I didn't see the point of bringing it up.
Another good thing, I'm glad they didn't explore too much about like love in general. Like I don't like when these superhero movies they go into like relationship stuff.
I like it.
We know you like this shit.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Storm thing, the Storm question mark now, because now they own X-Men. Storm and Black Panther are actually together, but they're building this whole thing with
Nice.
Yeah, they're building this whole thing with Lupita and Black Panther, but Storm is actually his wife in the comics. And now Marvel and X-Men are now together again.
I don't see it though. It would be nice, but I don't see it.
I can see it.
You think so?
All they gotta do is
they called her X for a reason, bro. Like he rediscovered why he X'd her.
He did say she was just balance. I'm like, oh, I like being a spy more.
Like, or I got this white dick.
Yeah,
I'm going with.
No, bro, that's his sister.
Huh?
That's his sister.
Who's his sister?
That's his sister fucking up Bucky.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely gonna get dick down by Peter Parker.
Trying to get her some. Huh?
Peter, his sister, definitely gonna get dick down.
She fucking Bucky, bro.
Peter Parker?
Damn. Bro, think about it.
They couldn't nerd out.
She's not fucking Bucky because she like 16. I hope she not.
Oh, she's tough. Oh, man.
So like, yeah, she's supposed to be like 16 in this movie. So like, I'm pretty sure that then she moved to New York. She's 16, just like Peter. Moved to New York.
Oh, we're gonna get
super smart, just like Peter.
But what was she doing with Bucky though?
She was fixing that nigga.
She wanted to fix his head.
She had to fix his brain, bro. That nigga nose was fucked up.
That would be a raw ass cameo.
Hey, so think about this. This is my theory. How about this? In like one of the next Spider-Man movies, if his villain is Kraven the Hunter, a nigga from Africa, and then he like, damn, how I stop this nigga?
I heard this
my main bitch come up. Hey, I heard this nigga before. What? Oh, we science bros? Let me get in them bugs. Hey, bro, here go a new suit.
There we go. I can see that shit. No, for real. That could work.
And Kraven would be a raw ass villain.
I'd like to see Kraven in a mainstream movie. I like.
Now she getting digged down.
Hold on, so is that new Venom movie supposed to get intertwined with this shit somehow?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
They specifically said that like they would share, because Marvel owns Spider-Man and all that shit. They share Peter Parker, but nobody else. And it was funny. There was an interview with like the nigga that do all the Marvel shit and the lady that do all the Sony shit, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe one day Venom will cross over." That nigga gave her
Yeah, I saw that.
okay. If you ain't talking money, don't talk to me. Pretty much.
Yeah, what else did I like? Oh, I mean, there's some African bling going on. But before I get into that,
African bling?
Yeah, there was a. I'll get into that. But anyways, the soundtrack.
Oh, no, that's Nigerians.
It was extremely disappointing. I felt like.
I agree.
I felt like it could have done so much better. Like, one thing my girlfriend was bringing up was like, it really should have been like, what was better, the soundtrack or Black Panther? There's so much potential they could have had there, especially like on the premise. Were there no African artists on the album? Like, it was 100% Kendrick and like a couple of Kendrick's buddies, but like you could have put Wale on there, you could have put Wizkid on there, you could have put like a whole bunch of artists that niggas do know, and combine those soundtracks together, and it really be a fusion of African American culture and African culture. Like, that's sad. Like, it's just sad that they could have gone so many places, but I guess the album was like an afterthought, or the soundtrack was like an afterthought.
I don't think that's an afterthought at all. The amount of like people that went in, I don't think you go to Kendrick and be like, that's an afterthought. I don't think
100%. I think you could be like, I think it's a good business move, but I could definitely be like, okay, well, what will make this hype even more? Well, what if you just say Kendrick is on the fucking soundtrack?
Or Kendrick made the whole thing. I think that's low.
That was it. That's
they did
it
for
came out
hype.
like way after like the hype. The news that he was producing that thing came out way after like most people were hyped for the movie.
The album ain't even dropped till like
afterthought.
two days before the movie.
Yeah,
like I agree with him. Like, bro, how you gonna have this movie that's supposed to be like this black culture thing, and you ain't got Kanye in there, bro? Like, come on, Kanye gotta make at least one song for your shit for it to even be a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, name an action movie that don't got one Kanye song. You know what I'm saying? Kanye not in that bitch. Jadena not in that bitch.
That's true. No, that would have been perfect.
Would have been perfect. You could just use Chief
African and like
he is
African Nigerian niggas.
Yeah. No, he really is. Oh, for real.
Yeah, he basically Killmonger. Like, damn, bro. Like, Jadena wasn't in there. Wale, like, I was so disappointed with that soundtrack. I just feel like they was like, huh? What do you want, white people?
Miss me with that bullshit.
Take it.
But, yeah,
that
so.
soundtrack can miss me.
They could have done much better with that. Hold on, there was another negative that came up.
Maybe
think about the soundtrack.
I mean, because I don't. Maybe some other African.
No, nigga, you're right now. I feel like. So we just talked about the 3 sets of black people, right? This is the one movie where it's like the Caribbean niggas are just like
what? Just just
neutral to the shit. Like, whatever.
Not having Africans on the soundtrack. I'm like, okay, who cares?
What you mean they're in Africa? But like niggas wore dashikis to the show, like, and you don't have an African artist. Dashikis is not an African American thing.
That's true.
So what African country wears dashikis?
A lot of them.
All of them?
Every African country?
No, they don't.
Yeah, I have dashikis at home.
You call them that?
No.
I feel
But
like
it's the same
all
outfit.
West
It's
Africans probably wear dashikis.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
I'm just saying I don't see the big deal not having like Africans.
Nigga, like that's like having a movie filmed in Jamaica and not having not a single Jamaican artist on it. Like no Wires Cartel, no nothing. Now you don't even play reggae at all. Like no type of music. We just
It's
gonna
just
play
all rap.
classical shit. We going no, like what? Like that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I know. It was filmed in Tyler Perry's studio.
Doesn't it?
I didn't know that.
He shouted it out like a few days ago.
But yeah, that's just like, but how would you feel about that? They're like, yeah, we about to make this like, you know, Islander thing, but they ain't got nothing music wise. Not even a hint of reggae.
I feel like maybe you're not as attached. Like you don't have
the
that
movie's
part.
good. But I guess you're talking about the soundtrack.
Yeah. So I mean that.
Yeah, it's like it didn't make or break the movie. We still thought it was a good movie.
There were some good songs on it. Just they could have done way better.
I mean, I'm not
actually
listening to
care
the
for
soundtrack.
soundtracks.
You know, yeah, I'm not listening to the soundtrack.
I was never one that actually cared about
I don't
soundtracks.
necessarily care.
I just thought it was
out that the music definitely can make the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like when them dope beats drop, it changed the feel for the movie for you.
Right.
And the movie does, or music does help make the movie. And from your perspective, it didn't fuck you over. But if we talking about like a cultural perspective, like somebody was African,
I see it.
I can see where that would disconnect him from the movie of it.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I don't know if they're really gonna do a Black Panther 2, or at least if they do a Black Panther 2, I don't even think I don't think it can top 1. If it tops 1, like my mind will be officially blown. But like this felt like a movie that could have just stayed a 1.
That's
be alright.
That's what I was saying.
I don't think it needs a sequel.
That's what I was saying.
They're going to do it, yeah, of course. But it's like, what are they going to explore? Like it can't be like that cultural tie like that it has.
You would know best. Like based on comic book stuff, like what else is there?
I'm talking about the cultural backstory, like undertones of this. Like, where do you go next?
Well,
like
I think
the cultural impact that this had.
Explore,
But the impact culturally that this had, like that other premise of the story. I'm not talking about the fact of like the action movie part of it.
Real world,
because the action
that's one of the things that brought people in to want to see the movie.
And then once they saw the movie, it was like, oh, this identity question or whatever, like that type of premise. Like, I don't know if it really was.
There are tons they can do. There are tons of things that they can pull from.
Yeah.
But with it being a Disney movie, how much of the envelope can you push, right? But I think that's why they didn't want to make a white man the main villain. Because then it's like, now you start to push that envelope, right? I don't think they're going to push the envelope that much, and I don't think there's much else they can do. Because that was like the one thing they could push that's like, oh, it's a subtle underlying tone. But as far as like the action and the actual movie, millions of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be like, I don't think the second one will be as good as the first one. I don't think it's possible. I really don't. I think it's going to be like Iron Man. Iron Man 1 was, and then it slowly kind of declined. I think it's going to be exactly like that. By the time we get to Black Panther 3, it'll be trash.
Yeah, so then my issue on the African disconnect is like, there's a lot of blaming, like subtle blaming that along with the whole thing that was like trying to say like the reason why we're here and suffering is because of y'all. Yeah. Like that's what most of it felt like. Yeah, and I'm like, how true or not true that is, whatever. But I'm just like, it's not that true.
Like a lot of stuff, bro.
That's very true.
It's like they're saying, if y'all niggas would have simply just came across the whole African shit with everybody,
but if you really think that like there's a bunch of Africans like that were like, let's just sell these other niggas that look exactly like us on some evil type shit, like that doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't add up. Like it was business. Like either way, like it was business. Period. Was it right? No. Do I think that like this was majority, like the selling of Africans was fueled by Africans? No, it was fueled by whites, and Africans just happened to be involved in the selling process as well. Just like poor whites were involved in the abuse of black people here. Yeah. Like it's the same thing. Like we hate them, but at the end of the day, it was the rich white person that told that poor white man beat the shit out that black guy. Like, so I mean, wherever you want to point the finger, point it. That's fine. But I just was like, it wasn't for me. Like I said, the movie was good. It just wasn't for me. Like it was definitely made for African Americans.
I feel like
that was the time I felt like, oh shit, I'm not African American.
To say that like, oh, Africans had no stake in this really, is just business is business. I feel like that's almost taking away accountability. Right? So like, let's say if this dude's like, yeah, I'm about to go beat this dude with a bat. And I don't say anything about it. Was I the one that beat him with the bat? No. Do I have some accountability? Yes. So if I try to say like, oh no, that wasn't my problem at all, I'm getting rid of that little bit of accountability.
No, but I mean, like, I think the way
with a bat, you say here's a bat.
No, I think so. I definitely agree with what you're saying. Maybe I said that wrong. I'm not trying to say that like black people, like other Africans, didn't have accountability for like black people coming over there, right? What I'm trying to say is that the message that I feel like is being portrayed when it comes to that is like, oh, there was no third party involved. Y'all niggas was just like, hey, we don't fucking want y'all. Like, first of all,
they point out the white people. They call them like.
I'm not talking specifically about the movie. I'm talking about that message in general. That like a lot of African Americans have, that angst that they have towards Africans. Like, you sold us, you all this. Like, it's like, I don't think we're looking at the full picture here. Second of all,
is that an actor?
100% is the thing. 150.
I mean, like right now, is that a thing right now? Like where people
where Africans blame.
We are African Americans blaming Africans.
I wouldn't say that. It's like down here, it's still a thing, but
my
right now.
Said it happened to her like the other day.
You know, what's in the forefront right now is like, you know,
like
black people, white people.
That's a very small.
That's fine. I just like, it's that narrative that kind of bothers me. But either way, like, fuck, I forgot what I was trying to say. Fuck, I lost it, but yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, I would say that, like, right now, what you sound like to me, no offense, is white people We're like,
I didn't think that. I crossed my mind before I bought it.
We'll be like, hey, bro, you know we was slaves back then, and that kind of set us behind. And then they like, I ain't do that to you, bro. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not saying that you are 100% the wrong case. I'm not saying that. But if y'all didn't sell us, maybe we wouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying?
I interpreted it differently. I took it as, okay, you got these spies all over the fucking place. You guys can clearly see what the fuck is going on to all of your people around the world.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing anything about it?
Right.
That's how I perceived it. Not specifically, y'all could have did something a long time ago. It's more of, why aren't you doing shit right now?
Yeah, no, but like that thing was trying to mirror what happened in the past.
Yeah. That's what that's mirroring.
It was like.
Because we couldn't say that that's the case right now, because like, what are we gonna ask a country that's poorer than America to help out with an American cause, right? That wouldn't make sense. So I think that it is definitely trying to mirror.
No, I thought they were talking about worldly, in the worldly aspects, where black people are kind of like placed on the bottom of the totem pole. I agree with Killmonger in the sense that like,
I had no problem with this
bro, why is Wakanda kind of sitting around where shit's going down? But now what I'm gonna say from my perspective as an African American,
would be fucked up if he got involved. I 100% guarantee it. There's no way anyone in the world who's like rich or whatever, like even if Wakanda's the richest country in the world, they were like, you know what, fuck it, we gonna actually try and help all black people or whatever. No one's letting that happen. I 100% guarantee you. There's no success in that mission. If anything, Wakanda will end up worse than it will.
The argument is that they're so far ahead that even if you don't want it to happen, there's nothing you can do. Right? Like if aliens came and invaded, them niggas so far ahead, even if we don't want it to happen, it's gonna happen.
They gonna ask Wakanda to, help out and do some shit. I'm just saying like the specific mission of like, well, now Wakanda, first of all, like if we want to really break it down, like there's differences amongst Africans as well. So it's like, not everybody's from fucking Wakanda, bro. You might be from like Libya. You know what I mean? Like Wakanda really should be, if that's the case, then they really should be helping Africa first, because I guarantee
he was saying that
the African statistics is much worse than any African American statistics. But like he could be open that, but there's not that attachment. You feel me? It's like the people of Wakanda. So like, yeah, I mean, in his case, he was Wakandan. So like, yeah, help that nigga out. You feel me? But
wait, who are all of those people in the very beginning that were being shipped from one location to another?
Those were just Africans, not Wakandans.
And what was I don't remember the girl's name. What was her goal in being a spy? Yeah, what was her goal?
Oh, we're talking about Nigerians of Boko Haram. I think she just wanted to help people.
She was just trying to help black people.
Yeah.
So
she's just trying to help the less fortunate.
Basically, what she's doing, but expanded it a bit more.
Yeah,
are you saying that's what Killmonger's asking, or what?
Her and Killmonger got the same idea, but Killmonger is like, we're gonna take that shit with blood and violence, and she's just like, why don't we come out to the world and help these
give our resources
with money and like be a symbol of like, this is what black people can do.
And T'Challa ends up picking the money part, obviously, because he then starts that little thing in Oakland or whatever. But I'm still a little iffy about that. I mean, it's good that he did it, but he said he was doing it all over the world, so whatever. I'll leave that alone.
But he also revealed to everybody, we got all this shit. Can fuck with us. So
decent as hell for me. The perspectives player I've had, kind of changed my view on Killmonger. I didn't like him a lot in the beginning, but seeing him explain what he saw of it, I actually don't see him as deep of a character as I initially thought. Though I would like that they put some respect on his name here and there, like with his education. I just wish that we got more scenes before the fight of who he really is. More scenes like that art scene that's showing off his intelligence and stuff like that. I feel like all we saw was that, and then some other stuff, which I think is a subject of this whole, we got to keep it less than 3 hours. There are certain scenes where I just felt like they probably cut something out of it, or there was something that was supposed to build here, and it just felt like they was just
there's one sentence that doesn't let me connect, or feel there should be something to back it up almost.
Yeah.
All right, so my rating for Black Panther.
Let me go first if you're gonna give it some controversy.
We ended up actually doing another mini video inside of the rating.
It was decent as hell too. It was good, but it wasn't the best movie ever, as everyone online making it sound like. Which kind of
culture, bro. We did it.
No, I get it. I'm gonna watch it again just because it's some black shit. Yeah. But
I'm watching it. It's gonna be the only MCU movie that I go back to.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever seen a movie twice.
Yeah,
ever.
No, I've seen. Oh yeah, in the movie theater.
Yeah, the theater.
$12 more of my dollars. So.
No, I'm gonna refuse it. It was $5.
I'm more to see with my
I
family.
thought that shit out ahead of time.
I might take my mom to see it. You're right. If I had to give it, I'm gonna probably give it higher than everybody else. I'll give it a lit. Just because one
Expected like shit.
Yeah,
like, decent.
I thought you were gonna surprise me with on the Red Riot shit.
no, Red Riot, bitch.
Killmonger got dropped.
Killmonger did get
Oh,
dropped.
I put so much respect on this
But-
shit.
His acting was great though.
Yeah, I thought his acting was like
50.
It was as good as
was
niggas
like-
could do for that movie.
Like in terms of like putting it into perspective of somebody who grew up and was like, they never showed his mom, okay? Who felt like they were completely abandoned and shit like that, and you know lived all that time with that shitload of anger pinned up inside of him. He was finally able to start releasing it upon everybody.
I blame the context of the movie as to why I don't put respect on the acting there. I just couldn't like look at it
I think it was
through like
right.
an acting.
I think it was-
I think they were like playing between being real and then not. And then I'm like, the background of the universe is like, all right, bro, it's still Marvel, still happy-go-lucky Marvel. So I'm like, it wasn't that deep. Like it was like,
And some of his lines,
every line was like just skirting over the deep.
some of his lines just weren't realistic.
Yeah.
Like in real life, niggas don't say that.
I would have to see the
cuts?
the director's edition, because if that tells me like, oh yeah, he actually made this character kind of himself, then I'm like, all right, he a raw actor. But if they was just, oh, he's just acting, but the writers did that, then I gotta give it to the writers, because I enjoyed the character a lot, even though he didn't portray my people in a better way. I still enjoyed that nigga. Like, he's not my favorite villain. He's not better than Loki. Tom Hiddleston act circles around his nigga.
What's up with you, Loki?
Loki, bro? That dude
Acting
is
like
cold.
that.
I don't care about that nigga, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Nah.
I liked him in every movie. He stole
really?
the show. And
That's
he
true.
I don't like Red Riot. Like, come on, bro. Loki got dropped in every movie.
He did.
Yeah, but
He like his
that's
joke
job.
is getting dropped.
That's his job to get dropped. Red Riot job not to get dropped. He a hero.
What do you mean? Everybody.
Loki's
They
the villain.
were just going.
What do you mean? Nobody's safe.
The villain supposed to lose. Like, Loki's supposed to get dropped. We know he gonna get dropped coming
Yeah,
in.
he don't
Red
get
Riot
dropped.
the hero. Bitch ass
Yeah.
nigga got dropped. Goofy. Look at my ultimate move in my background. Snake Man slept his ass. He
Same
gone.
thing as Loki, man. Look at my ultimate power, Hulk.
Rapper pulled up in the Snake Van. Gave that nigga the business.
He was supposed to have been a god, and he
He
got
is a
dropped.
god.
And he got dropped by.
Thor is also a god though.
He got dropped by Hulk, who can fight a god, Thor. So Hulk a god. As far as I'm concerned. That nigga, he's just the god of mischief. It ain't like he like, yeah, I'm the god of power and busting niggas' heads. Then I'm like, all right, you a bitch. He like the god of sending niggas off. And he made a whole movie sending niggas off. He was like, hey bro, Captain, you a bitch. now niggas boxing. They almost tore up the whole helicarrier. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so yeah, lit.
Yeah, give me the lit.
It's
lit.
Okay. I see these manga highlights.
No, real quick. So, where would you rank it
Oh yeah,
in terms of the other Marvel movies?
I can't give it an exact number. Top 5, definitely not number 1.
Cool. What would you
Because
put
you're number one in
one?
store, right?
The first Avengers is my number one. To me,
Oh, for real?
Oh,
the first Avengers.
Damn, bro. I didn't know this was
Number
on
one.
top of Luke Cage, man.
come on, bro. Hey, we closed his laptop. He done. You no longer MGG. You're Gerald.
Hey, bro. Iron Fist was good, man. Iron Fist was good.
That's his new real name, Gerald.
Hey, it was almost
His real name's
about to be
Clarence.
Iron Fist.
Clarence, bro. You a Clarence, bro.
Hey, man, I'm just out here on my coon and shit, you know.
Funny, so you know a nigga named Clarence.
I feel like everybody know at least one Clarence.
I'm mad that it's true, though. I wanted to prove that wrong, but like, yeah, I know a nigga named Clarence. I think I know 2 niggas named Clarence, actually.
I know somebody named Clarence.
I will put this. Do someone else go. I gotta think about it.
Alright, it's definitely under Winter Soldier, which I will probably put in my number 1. Thor Ragnarok is not up there.
I never saw that. Or
Was
was
damn good. You know? Thor Ragnarok is definitely up there.
Yeah, so
Automatic note top 5.
you don't even have 5 them compete with?
Oh, you haven't seen 5?
It's not above Iron Man, the first one. Just off the respect, not off technicality. It's probably technically a better movie, but off the respect to Iron Man, it ain't above that. So let's put it at 4. 4.
Alright.
from the bottom of my list, I mean, pretty much almost all the sequels I didn't like. So
besides Thor,
I was really like
Ragnarok.
Yeah. Ragnarok is the only like sequel that did better than its original movie.
What about Captain America: Civil War? The first Captain America was garbage.
True.
Civil War
and the Captain America series. Because the Captain America series, they pretty much just said, we just gonna like stop worrying about Captain America.
Yeah, he can't be the main guy.
Really the focus. Yeah.
And they made that nigga strong.
I didn't watch.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say in the first Captain America, he was just like, ugh.
Oh yeah, no, I hated that
scene. He got kicking niggas through doors and shit. Like he got real strong.
I didn't watch Winter Soldier, so I can't put it in there. I did watch Civil War. I had my issues with it though, so I don't think it's my number one. I don't think I have anything at the top spot. So I'm gonna slide Black Panther to number 2.
What's number 1? You said?
I don't have any. It's blank right now.
God damn.
I don't have any of those Marvel movies that I can think of offhand that I was really like. Yeah, that's the number 1.
Number 2.
I don't get the hype of Winter Soldier like most people do. I just wasn't a big fan. I know Civil War was better, but I don't think Civil War was better than Black Panther though. I think Avengers.
Y'all tweaking Guardians of the Galaxy was.
Oh, snap! Gotta move it down to 5.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Guardians of the Galaxy better.
Woo! It got a lit. Oh, I guess all those got super lit.
No, it's better than Guardians. I give it. It's a close, but it's better.
For the culture, bro.
I keep that for the culture. It's
Boondocks.
Shit, I may have it at 2. Man,
What's your number 1?
I think First Avengers is the best.
First Avengers
by far. I think. I mean, I don't even think it was like anything close.
Tough.
That's hard, man. I think it's the type of movies I appreciate that put me at the top. And Marvel Universal, I don't think we'll ever accomplish that because their stories aren't like deep.
No, you're not comparing it to us. That's why you're comparing it to yourself.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I don't.
You have a favorite. When I say best, I mean you're supposed to your favorite.
This would probably be the only one I can go back to. Like I'm thinking of the list of movies. Yeah, like that's why I put it at number 2. I still think like I'm leaving
number 1
because I'm leaving a spot for Infinity War and what they're gonna do next.
This has to be your now.
Yeah,
I said the culture's strong with this one. Culture pulled that motherfucker off.
I just say it's not my number 1. You don't have to put it in by default. You can just say that I just don't think it's number 1, but it's the best I've seen so far.
So then
it's number 1.
He just don't want to say it.
He's basically saying that it's his number 1 right now, but he's suspecting that something in the future is going to come and replace it.
There though, so it's number 1.
Right. Sure. So we're speaking of it now.
Damn, then they put it number 1. Political.
I mean, I don't know what's better.
Hey, who got the most culture here? That's why it's number 1.
He got his number 1.
Hey,
now it's got his number 1.
I mean, just
consider my white apology.
Just because I was turning up the whole movie.
Oh, gee, there was this
and
fucking comment.
I'd be doing the same thing if I saw it again.
There was this fucking comment. I wish I could remember exactly what it said. I forgot who shared it on Facebook. But at some point, it was like this social justice warrior lady. She said, she was white. She said, I don't want to buy Black Panther tickets opening weekend because I don't want to take away a spot from like a deserving black person. Does anyone know when a good time to buy Black Panther tickets are? I just thought it was the fun on Twitter. Someone said that. I just thought that was the funniest comment I've ever read in my life.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, you take.
Because that's apologeticness to the bags, bro. Like, no,
right?
I don't want to take any seats away.
Like, if you said something like that,
I just mean a lot to you. I don't want to take this away from you.
I'll be real.
You've been waiting for this for a long time.
If anybody said that to me, I automatically assume you whipped a nigga at least once. So now you apologize.
Yeah,
you was like, oh man, you can take this ticket.
Hey, that's the name of this episode. White apologies.
White apologies.
Hashtag Black Panther review. Oh, so everybody ranked it?
Yeah, but it's 2.
Okay.